So, so greetings to you. It's Saturday, and a happy holidays. Happy holidays for this upcoming festive season. I'm glad that you all there. You took the time to tune in today, Saturday. I'm sure you have lots of things to do. You have your weekend chores, you have your shopping, you have your catching up with relatives, you have your reflection or reflecting, but yet you found the time and you budgeted the time to join me today. Thank you for that. But I have a job to do. And as much as the universe gave the inspiration and the energy, I most definitely need to come on and make sure that what's done is done. Well, today is an unusually busy day in my area. There are vehicles up and down on the it's not a main road, but seem to be quite a busy Saturday. Nonetheless, let's hope the noise don't get too distracting. You know, there's a movie a few years ago, I think it's 3 years ago, Get Out, where a black guy and a white woman were in a relationship and she took him to her relatives, rich people. And things were very suspicious and he was always alert, but he later found out that these people were consuming humans. So he had to find every possible opportunity to get out, to leave, to escape for the sake of his life, because they were going to eat him too. That's the relatives of the woman that he was dating. You should Google it and watch. It's an interesting movie. It's about cannibalism, but modern day cannibalism, not the type that they fabricated all those stories back in the day and talked about cannibalism in the Amazon and in these parts of the world to drive fear in people from going into the Amazon and maybe violating it, destroying the ecosystem, or just exploiting it for resources. So to keep people out, they start this rumor about cannibals eating people, you know, all this nonsense. I've learned in life that instead of building a wall, build fear. It is cheaper, costs nothing. Instead of building a wall to keep people out, just build fear inside of them and they will voluntarily stay out. It's the same method people use in their daily lives without even knowing it. Without even knowing it. People do that. People use that method. They spread fear. They build fear in people just because they want to achieve a particular objective, a particular results. They build fear. Don't go there because these people are this. Don't go there because these people are that. Don't rent that house. Don't support that business. Don't support that person. Don't this, don't that, don't this. Fear. It always works. It's easier. So we have this crisis that is brewing right now, and it has been for the past 3 months. And it concerns me because I'm not here to use my platform just to respond to the critics of the PPP. That's not my position. The PPP is capable of responding to their own critics. I'm not here to defend them. So any issue that interferes with the national security of Guyana is my concern. Any issue, be it from threats within the country or out of the borders of the country. It is a fact that we have Guyanese who would import threats in the country because of their hatred for the government. They are not in any way affected by the fact that the consequences of their actions can affect people that they love, their relatives, their children. They are so blinded with hatred for a government that they would conspire with foreign threats against the country simply to bring down a government that they have no justifiable hatred for, other than they don't like the people. When it comes to that kind of issue, it concerns me, so I talk about it. A lot of hatred was imported from the United States, from the Black caucuses there, the organizations that pretends to defend or fight for the rights of Black people, and they have exported that toxicity, that hatred, that racism to Guyana, to the Guyanese population. And because it came from a developed system of manipulation, Guyanese can't handle it. So they take it to the extreme. They forget that all the racism that exists in America, that comes from the Black people, are manipulated racism. They manufacture it and they manipulate it because they earn from it. Blacks are not generous people. So in order to milk Black people, you have to hijack their emotions, fabricate or invent an enemy, present yourself as a defender for the Black people against this enemy that you manufacture, to get them to donate to you. And this is what a lot of the so-called pimps in America that are Black and are pretending to be civil rights this and civil rights that. That's what they're doing. And they are exporting that via social media and via their agents who are Guyanese to the Guyanese community. And it is really affecting the social fabric of the Guyanese community. But it's only affecting one kind of people. It's affecting their ability to make a difference in their own lives in Guyanese society. But they would not blame the people who are responsible. They would blame the people who have to deal with the consequences of them being manipulated by these racist blacks in America. I want to talk about this Zohan Mandami, the recently elected mayor of New York. Well, New York is the capital city of the world. That would not be disputed or challenged. It is the capital city of the world. So any mayor of New York is just like the president of America. Similar powers. It's a big deal. But coming up to that man's campaign, matter of fact, he was invisible. Nobody knew about him. I've never heard about him. The people who helped, who tried and helped to push racist narratives, negativity against that man were black people in America. And you would think they are Democrats. The Republican has their reasons, but they were not pushing the narratives like the blacks were doing. Even though they had a black mayor, Eric Adams, who was a total disaster, like most black leaders. Most black leaders are disastrous to their own people, to themselves. Look at Chicago. Look at the counties or the cities in America where you have black leaders, mayors, governors. Look at those cities. They are disaster. They are shithole, literally shithole cities in the United States. And their demographic, their constituents is largely black. Everything about them is black. Leaders, everything, but yet they are the worst cities that you want to live. Compared to the cities that are run by Caucasians or Chinese or now we have an Indian mayor of New York. All those other cities, Republicans or Democrat, that are managed by people that are not black, they're making a difference. The only cities throughout America that are struggling are the cities where they have black mayors and governors and Congress people. Doesn't that tell you something? And that's the United States. You recently had a black president for 8 years. He controlled the federal government for 8 years. And in that 8 years, that Obama was president of the United States, there was zero growth amongst black communities. Zero growth. Black people went from 15% under Obama to 5% in the 8 years. They were worse off in the 8 years that the black man was president. because the weapon of fear is what, just like Obama, all the black leaders kept using to keep their people subjected and easily to control. The weapon of fear. Fear against the Indian, fear against the Chinese, fear against the white man, fear against the Muslim, fear against the Jews, fear against everybody. That in every aspect of a human life, the black man must be alert and vigilant against everybody else that doesn't look like him, because he is the victim. If it was for the black votes, Mandami would never have won the mayor of New York if it was for their votes. But because the weapon of fear was dismantled, they didn't have a choice. And just like President Irfan Ali, President Donald Trump, they are politicians. They don't take anything personal. They're politicians. They would say what needs to be said before elections. They would campaign on whatever rhetoric that is necessary, while at the same time keeping their identity and the sanctity of the nation, protecting the nation. Because while we fight politically, we still have a nation to be concerned about. And Mandami won the mayor and elections, the mayor elections. And what do you think? You think he gonna think like them niggas and say, "Oh, well, I hate Trump and I hate this and I hate..." No. In his mind, I'm the mayor, but that's the president. Respect due. If this president asks to see me, I will go. Damn the Democrats. So now they're accusing the Mandami guy of compromising, betraying them. Betraying them. Imagine black people are crying out about being betrayed, and they haven't done that to Eric Adams when he was sucking up under Trump also. He didn't betray them. Why that is necessary is because, folks, you got to understand politics. You don't make it personal. Politicians have to say what needs to be said on the campaign trail to get votes. After the elections is over, it's back to the business of running the city or the country. It's not a personal thing to hold a grudge. No, it's not. When I listened to Trump and that man yesterday, I thought to myself, I hope the Americans can understand that these are two leaders now who are at each other just a few weeks. And because of them being at each other, their followers were at each other. But these leaders understood that they were playing a role, a game. The game is over. It's back to reality. But their followers, they can't reconcile that. They cannot wrap their head around that they were played. That they were played. They're still holding a grudge against Donald Trump or against this Mandami guy. For what? These two men shook hands and say, okay, good. You're president, I'm mayor. Let's get down to business. But their supporters are still fighting each other. The Guyanese elections is over since September. President Ali won, sworn in. Parliament sworn in. The government is running. But yet you have supporters from the PNC that is still stuck in August 2025. They are still stuck in August. In their mind, they didn't vote yet. They still see a path to some victory somehow. I don't know how this is possible. That they continue to embrace fake news, to embrace all the plots, all of the evil that are coming out of their leaders. Again, black people, their leaders from the PNC. And they're arresting these people's minds and their hopes that somehow they can go to bed on Christmas Day, Aubrey Norton would be president. If they can only do like what the civilized countries would normally do. Tell your people, listen, elections is over. We lost. Good. What now? What now is that you, as a citizen, respect your government. We, as the opposition, will find a way to hold the government accountable. But you, as a citizen, respect your government. Support your country. Do your part so that the country can continue on its path to progress. But instead, they are cheering on that loser woman, lunatic woman, that crazy-haired woman that was charged, that was put on bail yesterday, that came out and produced all of those fake news and committed cybercrime against the minister and others. They're cheering that woman on. They're cheering on other people who are actively, publicly undermining their own country. And they think it's cute. They think it's funny. They need to understand that elections is over. But this is what they do. Why a lot of countries like Russia and China, these countries, they monitor and they censor the internet, social media. This is the reason why they do it. Because they're citizens. They're citizens, those of who are vulnerable. There are elements within their country that are using these vulnerable citizens to achieve their own objective against the regime. And it is bad for the country. It's bad for the country's development. But Guyana is a democracy. The Guyanese government is a civilized government. The president wants people to exercise their freedom, the freedoms that are afforded to them under the Constitution. He wants people to, but people are abusing it. Freedom of expression doesn't mean you can talk shit. Freedom comes with boundaries, with conditions. Don't get it twisted. Freedom doesn't mean because you say, well, I'm free to say whatever, you're going to go out and make claims against people, unjustifiable claims, and then you claim that is your freedom of expression, and you have the opposition party the WIN people and the PNC people that are embroiling these things, that are empowering these people to like, hey, it's okay. I mean, they can't do you anything. Because when one of these rats are spread out, the PNC and the WIN people, they can always find other rats. When there is garbage, you can always find rats. So they don't mind who is silenced. They can always find other people to do it. But look at the persons who are involved in these kinds of things, act against the state, against the government, against democracy. Even if you look at the Americans, all the persons who have tried their best to take down this Mandami Zohan guy, if you look at them in their personal lives, they're shitty. It's a mess. They're miserable. But you look at the Guyanese situation, and the people who are actively involved on the guys that they're fighting for democracy, or they're fighting for the people in Guyana, look at them. Let's take a close examination. Let's examine these people. Start with Azruddin Mohammed, who just woke up one day and decided that he's tired of being a corrupt billionaire. He wants to fight for poor people. Look at his life and legacy. Crime. He is facing possible 50 plus years in prison. Okay? So he's one person that is not credible. His motives went through the door. His only motivation is he wants to stay out of prison. And he surrounded himself with people of like kindness. Benchcop, Mark Benchcop, look at his legacy. Send a lot of black people, stupid black people, to their death in Guyana. He's a convict, ex-convict, a homosexual. You understand? And the list continues. Look at Burke. Crime, fraud, embezzlement, you name it. Look at the Smelly Wells, Melissa Atwell woman. Fraud, crime, prostitution, you name it. All these other women, they're on social media. There's one they call what, Rhonda Bob, and you have this Annie woman. They come on social media smoking marijuana with black label in their hand. Imagine women, so-called influencer, this baby doll, but all of them that seem to have a problem with the government, or seem to be talking against people that has zero dirt on their names. All these women, they come on social media drunk, high as fuck, with a long list of scandals, and look the side that they're working for. Look which side they're working for. None of them represents the PPP. None of them works for the PPP. None of them. They're all associated with the dark side. So how do you expect people like that to understand the importance of being a patriot, to understand the quality of citizenry? How do you? Because they can't, they're incapable. They get a telephone, they get a smartphone, they start a social media account, Facebook or TikTok. They come online and they're showing off their ropey fucking discarded boobs. They're wearing some tight ass clothes and they're pushing the, you know, they suspend the boobs up. So you see this little thing here, and it looks like, oh my gosh, it's a young boobs. No, let them take off their clothes. You'll see what young you're talking about. And they lavish their face with makeup, and they cuss, We all know that cost gets people's attention. Cost get people's attention. You understand? Human beings have a taste for chaos. Look at the kind of movies that sells. Look at the kind of music that sells. The violent ones. It's human nature. So because they come and they get some attention, they suddenly are celebrity. They suddenly are influencers. But you have people like them who follow them and share their stuff, and the innocent ones amongst us, they're thinking, oh, maybe she knows what she's saying. Maybe she understands what she's saying. But they're not looking at the facts. The facts are these are ghetto, uneducated prostitutes. Girls who ran away from home, who fucked their brothers, their cousins, their whole fucking neighborhood. They made so many kids. These are women that are done. Some of them went to prison and they grind each other and they come out. They're done. Miserable. They had so many men in their lives that nobody wants them. I mean, look at that woman that cussed out the minister and who made claims about the president's wife. I mean, look at her. Look at her. Most of the times when these people are making videos, you never see their whole body. They show the face with some filters. It's a good thing that the justice system don't use an iPhone. It's a good thing that the police department, when they're booking someone, a suspect, to take a mug shot, they still use a Nokia. Not even a BlackBerry, a fucking Nokia. So you get their whole ugliness, every fucking thing you see. And that woman, women like that, imagine women like that are cussing out the First Lady of Guyana, cussing out other people who don't need a filter. You understand? But when you look at their personal lives, they changed so many men, they cheated on so many men, they're drug addicts, they're alcoholics, they're fucking prostitutes, they're nightlife, and these are the people that are invading your phone. You're in your bed, in your nice, comfortable home, on your expensive phone, and listening to them lowlifes. What does it say about you? What does it say about you? These are, you have to shun them. You see them in public, you don't go to them, you don't acknowledge them, you don't touch them, because when you touch people, you can extract vibrations and energies. You don't hug them, you don't touch them, you don't do these things because they can be contagious. Because when something happens to Guyana, it happens to every Guyanese. Every Guyanese. America has been very hospitable to Guyanese. Hospitable. Accommodating. Guyanese went to America and have made something for themselves. Don't be in the US and push hatred towards your country. The Americans were very kind. Don't be in America and be a part of racism and conspiracy theories and fake news. Don't do it. Don't be ungrateful. Black people are bullies. But you don't have to be a bully. Respect that country. Respect the leaders in that country. Because at the end of the day, you don't deserve anything the Americans are dishing out to you. You don't deserve it. Don't be a part of the nonsense that these Guyanese women are doing, and be in America and push that nonsense. Don't do it. Because they're going to search for your feed, find your location, and deport your ass back to Guyana. We have a country to build, a country to fight for, a country to defend. Don't join with the Burks and the bench cops and all of these other so-called black hustlers to the detriment of your nation. Don't do it. The ultimatum that Maduro got, Nicolas Maduro, the Venezuelan president, the ultimatum that he got, leave now. And he should call his buddy Azradine and extend the same thing to him. Leave now. Because Guyanese, home and abroad, you need to understand this is not today. Many American governments tried to get rid of the socialist government in Venezuela. Many, since Chavez's time. This is not a new thing. So there is no backing away from this. Donald Trump didn't just come and decided that this could have been a deal done since 2016. And if he had won the elections in 2020, it would have been done since then. Nicolas Maduro has to go. There is no negotiating. He is using all of the stops he has, flooding Guyana with more mercenaries. I said before, the government should shut the border. We don't have the military manpower to defend the borders of Guyana against immigrants. Just shut it. Maduro would not step out without trying to destroy Guyana in the process. He wouldn't do it. He's going to make sure that he gets Guyana in the process. We have to take this serious. There is almost 20,000 US military troops in the region. The largest warship is in the waters, and it's moving inland, is moving closer. Do you think, folks, do you think the American government is going to invest all of that resources, money, personnel, media coverage? They're going to bring the largest warship in the world all the way from the Middle East and dock it off Venezuela's shores just to threaten Maduro? They didn't pull a weapon just to bluff. They pulled a weapon to use it, not to bluff. All those military might that's in the Caribbean Sea, they have supply ships, warships. bombers. They have so much military power there in the Caribbean right now, moving closer and closer to Venezuela inland. While we are obsessed with all of these losers like these fucking lowlifes who are costing the government, that's happening. They have given Maduro the ultimatum, leave now. He offered the whole country to them, all the resources, just to let him remain as president. They turned it down. He comes on his platform every day. He's holding rallies, praying, begging Americans to beg the government not to invade him, not to remove him. Imagine that man who just a few months ago held an election against a country that is less than 1 million people. One of his villages in Venezuela has 1 million people. One of his villages. Like one of the slum areas in Venezuela, they have more than 1 million people. That's just one. He was willing to bully, to invade Guyana, to bomb Guyana, to murder Guyanese. He was willing to do that. And no court could have stopped him. The ICJ, he disregarded what they said. The UN, he disregarded what they said. CARICOM, he disregarded what they said. The Argyle Declaration, disregarded what they said. Because he was the mighty king, the mighty Maduro, who would take Essequibo. He threatened ExxonMobil oil rig off the coast of in Guyana there. His warship called them, threatening them just a few months ago. And now the same man, the same mighty Maduro, who redrew his map to include Essequibo, who appointed a governor for Essequibo, who told his people Essequibo belongs to the same fucking asshole, is on his knees begging for his life, begging the Americans, begging Donald Trump, singing praises. Imagine he's singing gospel music now. He's singing American country western music now. Imagine that. And despite all of that, the warships are moving inland Venezuela. Because this is not today. They wanted them out a long time. A long time, the Americans wanted them out. Years, decades. Now they're going to do it. So he has the option. They tell him to go to Russia. Leave the country now, go to Russia. He has a deadline to do that for his life. But he still thinks he can beg his way out and they'll keep him as president. But his country will be destroyed in the coming weeks simply because of his ego and his arrogance. His ego and his arrogance, his country will be destroyed. Unfortunately, Guyana will feel the effect. Guyana will feel the effect, unfortunately. And you Guyanese in the US and different parts of the world, you are going to be burdened because your relatives are going to burden you for more support. So while you are online empowering Azrin Mohammed, that it was established he's an agent for Nicolas Maduro, why should the rest of us suffer because of your bad mistake in supporting Win? You should never have allowed that man to have a party. Never have allowed Ajudi Muhammad to have a party. That party belongs to him. That's his cover against going to prison. But that's not just about not going to prison. Maduro will be destroyed, Venezuela will be destroyed, Guyanese will be affected simply because of Ajuddin's ties to Maduro. All of that can affect the Guyanese parliament and the Guyanese government. We have to hope the government uses brute force and power and get this thing over with on the next court hearing. We don't want Ajruddin Mohammed and his father in the country when America starts to bomb Venezuela. You cannot have a Maduro agent as opposition leader for Guyana. You can't. Because even though Maduro will be even though if he decides to escape to whatever country, his underground businesses will still go on. And those who are connected to his businesses, they will still go on. And based on the American intelligence, the Mohammeds are connected to the underground business with the Maduros. So we can't allow them to stay within the shores of Guyana. The Mohammeds must be extradited. Let them leave now before the war starts. And I ain't selling fear here. I'm selling facts. There is no negotiating. The Americans are not going to take their ships all that way to spare Maduro. The whole plan is to take him out. That's the plan. They ain't bluffing. They got to recover the cost of the investment of all those military hardware in that region. And the cost is taking possession of all of the oil facilities in Venezuela. And they can't do that if the Maduro government is still in place. This is not just about him. His entire cabinet is going down with him. All his military heads. They're taking the whole team. This isn't about Maduro. The entire movement, the Chavez movement, the entire movement, they will cripple the movement. They'll kill every one of them. That is the plan. The people have to recover their investment in moving all those hardware to the Caribbean. Guyana is a part of the chain. Trinidad, Guyana is a part of the chain the Americans want to control, because Guyana is an oil producing nation and they're producing more oil every day. The Americans need to have control over that and keep control over that. The threats we have towards that is the Mohammeds. The Mohammeds will be a threat to that if he is sworn in as opposition leader. Because all the policies, all the things that has to be done regarding oil, he's going to block it. And the country can suffer as a result of having an opposition leader who has a personal vendetta against the president and the vice president. His vendetta is not against politics. The man is an idiot. What does he know about politics? All that he knows is that he wants to spend $1,000 and he makes $1 million from that. That's what he knows. And to bribe whoever he has to bribe to avoid paying taxes. Give them poor people some egg ball money. Buy some cheap cars for his thugs. And it's good. Let us stand up against the government or the parliament swearing in the Mohammeds. We need to stand up against that. We need to support the Speaker of the House. We need to support the government's parliamentarians to stand up against it. You cannot allow Azrin Mohammed to be sworn in as opposition leader. You cannot allow that. You have to pressure the courts to extradite the man and his father. You got to do that. And by the way, PNC, who cares about what you feel about with the EU report? PNC, who cares about how you feel about what the European Union had to say about the elections? Who gives a fuck? I don't. The president don't. The country don't. We don't care. Be happy with your 12 seats. You're not an opposition. You have no voice. You're insignificant. Shut the fuck up. Stay quiet and jerk each other off. Okay? And this Ganesh Mahipal guy, well, yeah, you're an embarrassment anyway. You are an embarrassment. You're hiding amongst those blacks. They're protecting you, right? Imagine your buddy, the mayor, quit the PNC because of racism. Imagine that. The PNC mayor quit the PNC because of racism. And he thinks it's because of Aubrey Norton. No, Aubrey Norton is just he's just a demon that was raised by Burnham, that's all. But Aubrey Norton represented the policies of the PNC. The policies of the PNC is pro-black, pro-ghetto. They have no accommodations for nothing else, no one else. All the people on the panel, the persons who were decided upon, who were selected to be representatives in the parliament for the PNC, every one of them, from the 12, except for Mahipal, the 11 black people who are members of parliament for the PNC, every one of them hate Indians. Every one of them are racist. What does that tell you? They were selected by Norton. Norton is the disciple, the demon disciple, and he chose all the people, and they just patronized Mahipal because he's a good Indian. Keep him close. But Mahipal should do what the others do, leave the party. Well, his days are, in the future, I think he will do that. But the mayor who used to cuss Ali and all cuss, eventually he left the PNC. He had to face the reality that, hey, he doesn't belong there. The PNC is not a party for Indians. It's a party just for the ghetto. Just for the ghetto, not even black people. It's for the ghetto. That's the PNC. But nobody concerns about your opinions, man. Nobody cares about what you think. Just remain quiet. Just be silent. Stay in the parliament. Just be shut the fuck up, and hope that 2030. Hope that 2030 you would lose your 12 seats and you can just go back to doing what you do best, scamming people. So you need to support the government in this initiative to get rid of the Mohammeds. Then you have a chance to reclaim your 16 seats. But if you don't, it's bye-bye 2030. So I'm saying, don't swear in the Mohammeds. Send them away November 26th. That's the day when Suriname celebrates independence, 26th of November. So we can have an Independence Day 2 celebration in Guyana. That on the 26th of November, the judge declares this. I'm giving a report that there is credible reasons to have the Mohammeds extradited. Then we mark that date as the day Guyana was cured from the disease. We can do it. Yes, we can. Get rid of the Mohammeds. Now, President Ali, I'm flattered that you are harsh with these contractors, but you're talking too much. It's too theatrical. Before the elections, you cussed them out, you threatened them, you did all of that. Did anything change? Recently, the same thing. Did anything change? Now again, why is it that these contractors feel that they have this immunity, they can do whatever the shit they want, and not even the president's threat can drive fear in them to do something about it? Because too many times, and only a specific group is contractors. The group that gets the most out of the government spending are shitty performers. They're the ones that earn the most in the whole country. And the least they can do is to show that they're worth, their value. They're treating the job, they're treating the people's money like shit. They get the first cut or they get the whatever it is, and they just start the work and make it look like they're doing something, and then they move on to something else. Who is empowering them to do this? Mr. President, find out who these contractors are connected to in your government. Somebody's covering for them. They're not connected to you, but they're connected to your officials. They are connected to your officials. Because when you finish doing what you do and you give directions to your team to say, hey, stop this, shut this down, don't pay this, don't, and you turn your back, sir, they're getting paid. So it's your people that are giving these contractors the boost they need to do the stupid things they're doing. Investigate the contractors and the engineers and to see who they're connected to within your government, who's recommending them, how they're securing their contracts. Follow the money. When you talk about government officials declaring their assets, there are lots of people who would have a lot of money, but they save it in their house. They won't take it to the banks. So it's hard to trace how much money they have. They have their own properties and under people's name that doesn't exist. How could you find that? You really have to have a trustworthy system with trustworthy agents to get down to all the people within your government, sir, that is corrupt. But they're not going to sell each other out because they all have secrets for each other. They all have secrets for each other. What one minister is doing, the other one is doing. They're not going to give up on each other. You are the only one, sir, that seem to be the honest one. So you have to just hire outsiders to investigate your people. I ain't talking foreigners, outsiders, to investigate your people. Now you find out how corrupt they are. So it's not just the contractors, it's who the contractors are working for and who they have to give a cut to. But let them understand this isn't your money. It's the money from the Guyanese people. And if they're paid to perform a service for the benefit of the Guyanese people, they should perform that service. They should deliver. They should deliver. Until next time. If you have issues with the internet, it's because of the weather system here. I noticed yesterday after I watched the show, I saw a lot of static, but the weather was really bad yesterday. It's also not that good today, but so it affects the internet. It affects the connectivity. Okay, and I need to address this. There are some blacks. They're asking me if I'm a pastor. Actually, I do have a bishop's certificate ordination and a doctorate in theology, but I'm Hindu. The reason why they want to know is because to them, in their mind, in their limited mind, only pastors are supposed to be asking for donations. They're comfortable sending donations to corrupt, lying, deceitful pastors. But I shouldn't. I shouldn't ask for donation because I'm not a pastor. That's one. Two, I'm a doctor and I'm rich. I wish, not wish, I long for the day that I can go to bed in my current state and wake up the next day rich. I long for that day. When I encourage people to make donations, you heard that music, right? You heard the music. Do you know who does that? Men with small dicks, micro penis. Men with micro penis. They would put their cars, all these big things, and they blast the music when they drive through residential areas. Micro penis men does that. They want attention. But when they get the attention, they can't fuck the women because they're micro penis. Anyway, so like I said, your donations is showing your appreciation for the service I'm offering to my audience. You can send your donations to your pastors or your religious leaders for the lies they tell you, for the stories they make up. They manipulate your emotions and tell you if you plant a seed of $1,000, God is going to multiply. I don't do that shit. I make no promises, no commitments. I'm delivering a service. I'm serving the Guyanese audience, wherever you are. The objective is to stay on key so that my contribution towards keeping Guyana stable, free from crime, free from violence, racially united. And if you think that that doesn't earn your little donation, then that speaks to the level of your mentality. So it's better you don't just ignore my request than for you having to ask a bunch of questions because you have no intentions whatsoever because of the greediness in your heart. Then stay greedy, stay black, do your thing. I never ask, I don't, when I'm saying stuff here, I don't reach out to Afro-Guyanese, to Africans. I don't. How many times I have to say that? If Guyana being safe, Guyana being progressive, everybody benefits. Black, Indians, everybody benefits. You want me to be a bench cop? Or a Burke? Oh, they get a lot of support from black people. They do. Oh, of course. Melissa, you want me to be like them? I thought so. I never will. I'm way too qualified. I'm way too smart to be at that low level. So it's better for me to test your generosity, test the kind of person you are, test your spirit. To say, hey, regularly making contributions is appreciated. But if you don't want to, then that's fine. Doesn't mean I stop. I still do what I do. Life still continues. Politicians don't fund me because I don't accept funds from politicians. This is a service that I offer free. But I can make it a business. I can make it a business. Then I can take the call from the Mohammeds and get a check from them. Yes. Then I get a check from them. I don't need to be putting my Zelle account, or I don't need to be doing that because they'll be funding. PNC people would be funding. And when all these people are funding, then what? What do you think will happen? My platform and my voice is purchased. So I can't speak for the PPP. And I'm taking money from WIN or PNC or other people. I can't. They're paying me now. I'm working for them. That's what you like? No, I'm not that. I'm not. I could have done it before elections, during elections. I didn't do it then. Why would I do it now? So if you make your donations, you don't make your donation, it doesn't matter. Just shut the fuck up. Don't ask me dumbass questions because you don't want to make contributions. It's simple like that. It's as simple as that. Guyana first. Durga will speak to the hearts of the people that she wants to reach out to me to make contributions. I don't want people to make contributions and then they have this heaviness. No, I don't want that. Whoever Mother Durga, whoever Durga must send my way, I would be blessed by those people. I'm just throwing out the bait. I'm just throwing out the fish. I leave it as that. But you niggas can continue to send to Creflo Dollar and Benny Hinn and these, yeah, do your thing. I ain't a Christian, so don't send to me. Send to them guys. Yeah. And if Zohar Mandami, you know, the mayor, if Zohar Mandami, because people donated to him too, he was also asking for donations, right? If he had to depend on black people to support him financially, I tell you, he wouldn't stand a chance. You know who supported Mandami? You know who funded him? Indians, Jews, white people funded him. You think I give a fuck what them niggas say? Anyway, until next time, share this live, comment, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you again next time. Bye now.